Hello and welcome to episode 81 of Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are drowning in the details of life to create simple systems so we can do what matters most. Now, part of creating a simple system means that we have routines that are supporting us in our goals. In our Steps to Everyday Productivity program, we call it STEP, we talk about how you create solid routines, how you're going to review them once a week during your weekly review, and how these routines run on autopilot. So we don't need to create a little checklist for every day for every single routine we do, but that we can develop awesome routines and habits that are going to strengthen us and help us. Exercise is a big deal for me and for most people in our community and in the world, I believe. We want to be healthy. We want our bodies to be strong. We want to have routines that really support our goals and help us to be able to feel our best. And our friend Robin Long is joining us today. She teaches Pilates online, and we met her at one of our masterminds that we were attending a few years ago and have been dear friends ever since. I am personally in her online Pilates program. And while everybody here in the community might not be interested in Pilates or might not want to do this particular exercise, although you probably will be convinced by the end of this podcast, we're talking today about the bigger picture, how you create a routine around your health that will enable you to optimize your systems and help you to feel amazing. You can come to the show notes page at learndobecome.com/episode 81 to see links, and you can find out how you can learn more from Robin. She's got awesome challenges that she opens periodically. There's one going on right now when we're releasing, or you can get on the list for the next one if you're listening to this later on. But come to our show notes page, learndobecome.com/episode 81. For that link, more information, and stay close to Robin because she is amazing. We're going to be talking about how we actually make these habits happen. And a side note, I've been actually just starting to listen to the book Atomic Habits. Such a good book. It was recommended by our community. And I'm learning that the more and more you not only create a great routine or a great habit, but the more you commit to doing it over and over and over again until you actually get past that plateau where you often, don't see the results beforehand, you're going to start seeing amazing things happening. So enjoy the podcast today. Stay close with us at Learn to Become, and we hope that you enjoy this interview with Robin Long. Robin, thank you so much for being here with us today at Learn to Become Radio.
I am so honored and excited to be here. Thank you.
Robin is one of my dear friends, and I told her my goal for this podcast is to be able to help our community to really create an optimal health routine. Robin runs The Balanced Life online, and I've been in her program doing Pilates with her. Robin, it's so fun. As I'm actually talking with you, it's fun that we are going back and forth. It's not just me following you doing Pilates, but I love what you've done for me, and I want to help our community as well. So maybe we could just start off by talking about when you hear the words an optimal health routine, what do you typically think about, or what advice would you initially give to people who are looking for something like that, who may have tried a lot of things in the past and maybe nothing sticks and nothing works, and then people feel tired or overwhelmed or not really in shape or just frustrated and maybe feel like they're just failing over and over again? What advice do you give, and what perspective can you offer to start us out today?
Yes. I love that you're saying optimal health or optimal health routine. And I think that there's a huge distinguishing factor that we want to point out here. I get that question all of the time. Like, what is optimal? And in other words, like, what is the best thing I should be doing? I hear all this stuff out there. I hear about cycling, and I hear about strength training, and I hear about cardio, and I hear about the paleo diet, all these different things, keto, vegan. What should I be doing? Like, what is optimal? What is the best thing I should be doing? And what I like to do is to kind of reframe that to say, well, there's no one best thing. What's optimal is what's best for you.
Yeah.
And so your optimal health routine is the one that you enjoy, that you can actually stick to, that fits with your unique lifestyle. that fits with your preferences, your season of life, all of those things. Because you could have the most, quote unquote, ideal or optimal plan in place, a certain amount of days of cardio, a certain amount of days of weight training, a certain way of eating, this many minutes of meditation. You could outline this like perfectly ideal plan, but if you can't stick to it, and if it doesn't work for you and your personality and all of those things, then you're going to end up doing nothing. You're going to end up starting and then not being able to keep up with it or not enjoying it, and then you end up back where you started. And so I love that you asked that, because there's so much information out there. There's so many recommendations that we should follow. But what we really have to start with is individually thinking about you, your unique needs, your unique season, what you enjoy, and what you can actually implement in your life and start to stick with and build the habit.
I love that so much. And one of the reasons why I enjoy following you on social media, and I love your programs and I love what you teach, is because you have a really full life like I do right now. You just had twins, so now you have 4 children. You are running a business with your husband. You are very involved in activities, in learning, education. You have a full life, but you make time to eat nutritious foods, to exercise, and to take care of yourself, because you model what you teach. You really can't get out there and teach the balanced life if you're completely out of balance, right? And so I love that you've been able to find something that works with your life. And that's why I love this opportunity just to get to talk with you and learn more about how you approach it, because it does feel overwhelming when you think, okay, well, I'm supposed to get up every morning and run 5 miles, or go over to the gym for a class that all my friends are taking, or go do a HIIT workout. Or sometimes I feel like I wake up and I'm so tired from not maybe sleeping great that night or something like that. And I feel like, I can't make it to the gym today because I've got an early morning meeting or something like that. And then I just feel like, man, it's just not going to work, right?
Oh, I've been there. I'm there a lot. Yes, I totally get it. And then you're just kind of like, well, I can't do it today. So,
right. Okay. So maybe can you tell us a little bit about why Pilates, or explain a little bit more about your full routine? What do you do, given all those things that I was just describing about your life, or clarify or correct anything that I, didn't quite get? But I would just love for you to share, what's Robin's optimal health routine? What have you figured out that works with your life?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts. Okay, the first thing I want to add in is I actually do get out of balance and have gotten out of balance.
Okay.
Even while leading the balanced life. So I do want to put that out there, especially in this past year of adding twins to our family and going from 2 to 4 kids. It's been a constant rebalancing. And I think that's actually an approach that we embrace at the Balanced Life and at this in the sisterhood, as you know, is from the very beginning. I think it's important to know that nobody is perfect. Nobody sticks to anything 100% all the time. I take that back. There are some people out in the world who can stick to their routine religiously and never miss a day. But most people
have some flexibility in there. Okay.
Yes. Most people, life happens, things come up. And I think that's a huge mindset shift to make in the beginning, is just knowing I'm not even trying to have a perfect routine, or I'm not trying to require perfection of myself, to know that life's going to happen. There's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be days where you do exactly what you wanted to do, maybe even more. And then there's going to be days where you, like you said, just life gets busy. There's a meeting, the kid needs something, or you don't feel good, or whatever happens, and all your good intentions go out the window. What matters is just that you have the approach that this is a lifelong journey and this is an ongoing process. So I just want to throw that out there, that I have certainly gotten out of balance. And what I'm grateful for is that because this is what I teach and what I'm passionate about, obviously the message that I'm sharing with others is always right in front of me. So it helps me to come back to center and say, okay, what what do I need to do to get back to a place of feeling in alignment and feeling good and taking care of myself, just like I'm encouraging everyone else to do.
Yeah.
But just this morning, I was thinking about a similar question that you just asked. Okay, how do you know, like, how do you fit in taking care of yourself with a busy life? And I was thinking about how in this past year, it's been 18 months now since I had the twins, which is crazy. But what I think a lot of people focus on, and this could be in the postpartum season, or it could be any season that you're just thinking, I want to get my health back in order, or I want to really get back into a good routine. And we've been kind of conditioned to just think about just exercise, or just food, or really those two things combined. And so it's like we think, I want to get healthy. Okay, I need to exercise and I need to eat better. But in this past season for me of being, extremely full, my plate being extremely full, and my body going through a lot of changes, and all of us are going through changes, whatever season we're in. Right. It's a good reminder, I think, to take the perspective of whole health and to know that being healthy and balanced, it's not just do more exercise, work out harder, sweat harder, go to the gym more, and all of a sudden you're a healthier person. And it's also not cut out all the sugar in your diet, stop eating carbs and restrict yourself, and all of a sudden you're a healthy person. In fact, neither of those are true. We have to think about all of the factors that help us to be healthy and whole and feel good as we go through our day. So to be really specific in answer to your question, for me, I have really focused in this last season of, just full plate could be extremely stressful at times, right? Especially if I let it take over. I really prioritized sleep in this season. And so instead of what maybe many new moms do when they want to get back in shape and say, okay, I'm going to start waking up at 4:30 so I can get to the gym by 5 and be home by 6 to feed the babies and start the day. I truly believe if I would have done that, and I believe this for many people, but again, we're all different, right? If I would have done that in this last season, I would have absolutely burned myself out. I would have had to give up really precious sleep, and I would have run my adrenals into the ground, and it would have actually backfired on me. So, and it just really specifically, instead of doing things like that, I said, okay, I'm going to actually honor that my body needs more sleep right now. And I'm going to do 15 minutes of Pilates. That's my goal every day.
I love it.
Whether it happens in the morning or if the morning gets away from me and the babies are screaming and everyone needs something, then, once I get them in bed, I go into my bedroom, I do my 15 minutes, and then there's a healthy balance with food and sleep and stress management and all of those things. So I could go into even more specifics if you want, but I think I just wanted to share that for me in my season, it's like, let's take a holistic approach and think about what makes me feel my best and what really honors the season that I'm in. And I think that's important for everyone to think about when they're thinking about adding exercise into their routine or trying to be more consistent, is really take stock of where you're at and how you want to feel. And don't compare yourself to what so-and-so is doing on Instagram or that group of friends going to that new popular spinning class every, morning at 5 a.m. and you feel like you should be doing that too. Maybe you should if that lights you up and makes you feel amazing, but also you don't have to.
Right. I love this perspective because I think it really goes back to asking, well, what is your goal? Are you in a bikini contest coming up? Okay, then you're going to, that's your goal. Then Absolutely. You might be okay giving up some sleep or figuring out how to prioritize specific kinds of exercise or whatever. Right now, I am not going for a bikini competition.
You're not?
I'm not. That idea makes me laugh. But I love what you're saying. My goal is I want to feel good. And the way that I know if I'm feeling good is how I respond to my family during the hard moments of the day. Because when someone's having, there's some bickering going on or someone's frustrated or someone else is tired in the family, if my response is that I'm calm and I'm there to assess their needs and I'm there to figure out, okay, what needs to happen right now? Because, I'm the mom. So a lot of the mood of the home, like I'm kind of right there to help create that calm. I love that. I heard this from Linda Eyre one day where she said, there's a hurricane going on around you and you just think I am the eye of the storm. No matter what's going on, I'm going to be the eye of the storm. So when I'm able to be the eye of the storm, then I know that I'm taking care of myself. That means I got enough rest. That means I'm not hungry. I've eaten food that fuels me. It means that I've had time to breathe, take care of myself. When I find that I'm snappy and I'm, cranky, or I don't want my family to talk to me, then it's a really clear indicator I'm off. I don't know. Have you found something like that? Or
Absolutely. I can relate 100%. Yes. Definitely. Yep. I'd say that. And then also, I also have to tune in more recently into just physical symptoms too, of like, I don't know. I started getting, again, this was in the postpartum season, just being drained. So like, just energy levels, and again, that then relates to that, how I interact with my family, right? It's like, I can't handle another person screaming and crying if I'm just totally depleted. And so absolutely, I can relate 100%.
And our children are older now where we don't have the tantrums anymore, which I'm pretty excited about. But what I've noticed is now that my children are older, they just want time with me. And so what they'll ask, it's so cute. They'll say, hey, Mom, can you come snuggle on the floor with Sunny? Sunny's our dog. Can we come snuggle on the floor with Sunny? And I notice if I'm thinking, I've got stuff to do, I'm super busy, no, I can't do that, then I'm like, something's off. But if my thought is, yes, let's go snuggle with a dog and let's talk and let's just be together, because usually that's a sign, not just that they want to snuggle with a dog, but that they just want time with me. Yeah. They maybe want to talk about something, or they just want to feel that closeness. So that for me is a big deal. But one of the things I wanted to bring up about Pilates that I've been liking, and I want to talk about how I've made it my routine, because I was super excited. I've been watching you and for a long time, and I've been in your membership for a long time, done it every once in a while. I was telling Robin I'm on day 6 of my streak, which if I miss a day, it's okay. I'll keep going. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm fine. But I do like this Streaks app that I'm using that's helping me keep track of it. But I was looking for something that really was working in alignment with where my motivations already were, and I needed something that didn't require willpower. And in what we teach at Learn, Do, Become, where we help people to build a step command central, a lot of times people will say, well, if I'm going to get organized, it really doesn't make sense to try a new system, because I always try things and then I can't stick with it. And it's the same thing with exercise. Oh, I try things, but I can't stick with it. But what I've found is that usually the reason why you don't stick with something is if it requires a significant amount of willpower to maintain it. But if you can come up with something like the system we teach, or like what I'm finding with Pilates, that I can do that doesn't require willpower, then I can maintain it because it's not draining me. It doesn't feel like something that's taking a ton of my bandwidth or my energy. So I'm just going to share what I'm doing right now. And I know you said you've seen thousands of people who are sharing what they're doing as well. Okay, so I found that I was giving myself this excuse saying, oh, I just don't have time to exercise. Now, Eric and I go on a walk every day. We hike with our dog, and we do like a 45-minute hike every day. So that's exercise, and we're talking and we're kind of planning, and it's great. So we're getting outside and we're moving, and then I usually take the dog on like another walk or two each day. So I'm moving, and I have a standing desk and things like that. But I wanted some time for some kind of toning work or something like that. That was a little bit more. And so I found that I kept giving myself this excuse saying I couldn't do it. But I also found I've been really good at checking my email multiple times a day, because I love getting my emails to 0. And I love that dopamine burst of like, oh, I've processed all my emails. I think it's really fun. Like, I enjoy my emails because I like communicating with our community, or I'm excited about the projects we're working on and things like that. And I decided that I always made it a priority to check my email pretty early in the morning. And it was something that I looked forward to. But a lot of times it would take extra time, where if I just waited and checked it a few hours later, typically I could process it in like 6 minutes. Like, it's not that much. It's just that I enjoy doing it early. So what I did is I decided, you know what? I'm going to do 4 things every morning before I check email. And I got this Streaks app. And right now I started with 10 minutes Pilates. I usually am doing a little more than that, but I'm like 10 minutes. Anyone can do 10 minutes of Pilates. Like it's so easy.
That's one of the most important things you probably did though, because that's exactly like, you've got to make it easy, an easy win.
So easy.
You've got to build that habit and the belief that, okay, I can do this and I'm doing it. So that's perfect.
Yeah. So that's one of mine. And I just have 3 other things like connecting with God and having a time to create my day and then having time to review my vision of what I want for my life. And these things don't take long, maybe, between 5 and 15 minutes each. So I do it over the course of 30 minutes to an hour. And it's not always all at the same time. Some might be, before the kids leave for school. Some might be afterwards. But I just have a rule, like don't check my email until those 4 things are done. So that way, if I don't check my email till late at night, that's fine, but I'm going to be thinking about it all day. So it gets me to do it.
It reminds you. Yeah.
It's been awesome. And so I end up feeling really proud of myself. And I feel like, okay, I've done all the things that are going to get me on the right course for the day. And then I can build in more habits as these become more ingrained and, these habits aren't as new. But anyway, that's been working great for me. So I'd love to hear either, what you've seen other people doing or what you do or any other thoughts you have.
Yes, I love that. And I think like I said, by choosing 10 minutes, that was like the best thing you could do, because a lot of people, again, we're trying to find that ideal, right? So we're like, I should probably be doing at least 30 minutes. And so then we try to set that goal, but then how much harder is it to stick with it, to go from not doing Pilates every morning at all to going to 30 minutes? It's like, you're so much more likely to skip.
Yeah.
You're so much more likely to say, oh, couldn't do it today. And then you're not building that habit. So choosing 10 minutes, that's why so much of what we do in the sisterhood is 10 to 15 minutes, because for that exact reason. And so I love that. I just want to applaud that. And I want everyone listening to think about that, because I get that question like, is 10 minutes really worth it? Is 15 minutes really worth it? And it's like, yes, just try this. I promise you, you'll just try it, because again, unless you're someone who's already doing 30, 40 minutes a day, and then keep doing that. But if you're not, then try this strategy, because it's a game changer. So that's what I do right now. I have a very similar routine in the morning. And so for me right now, there's a couple bonuses to Pilates and doing it at home, right? Especially if you have something like the Sisterhood or some other, online learning that you can follow, is you don't need any equipment. So you can literally drop down on the carpet or roll out your mat and do it. You can do it in your PJs. So you don't even have to change into fancy workout clothes or even a sports bra. And so those things seem small, but they're so big, right? Yeah. They can be hurdles that make it like, oh, I don't have time to change into workout clothes, or I don't have workout clothes that fit, or I don't, whatever.
I already took a shower. I don't want to take another shower.
Right. So that was going to be my next one. And also no shower necessary afterwards. So this is what I do in the morning right now. I wake up. We have it worked out right now where my husband kind of does the breakfast for the big kids in the morning. So that gives me a little bit of time in the morning. And they're now able to my 4-year-old was making his eggs this morning.
Ooh, big step.
I'm like, yes, we're making progress and, getting them able to take care of themselves a little bit. But, so he does that. And so I wake up, I take a shower, I start, putting on some makeup or kind of getting ready. And then I just, usually I have a pair of shorts and a tank top, right next to, it's in my closet. I just throw them on. And while my hair is drying, I do my 15 minutes.
Oh, awesome.
So I just do it right there in my bathroom, usually, with the door closed, because then nobody bothers me. Nobody knows what's happening. Kids aren't asking me to, butter their waffle or whatever it might be. And so I just do it right there. I'm like, okay, I'm getting some air drying on my hair. I'm not getting all sweaty. That's the beauty of Pilates,
that works
right?
So well.
So sweaty. So then I'm done. Then I blow dry my hair and I get dressed, and I kind of have a few other things that I try to do, like my journaling and my a little bit of Bible time too. And so anyways, but that's where I'm sneaking in my 15 minutes, and then I'm done for the day. And if I end up doing more later, great. But it's the consistency for me that has the biggest impact. And helps me feel my best. And then you're just putting yourself in that frame of mind too, and of just kind of switching that, flipping that switch right in the morning and saying, okay, I have done something to take care of myself, and I feel good and I feel energized. And that really carries over into the rest of your day. Maybe you go drink some water and you're just a little bit more in tune with your posture that day, or your alignment, or you notice if you're carrying tension. Whereas if you just rolled out of bed and went on with your day, you probably wouldn't notice those things throughout the day.
Yeah, I think it's part of this virtuous cycle, right? And I've been studying a lot of neuroscience lately because I'm so almost obsessed with how amazing our brains are and how it all works. Oh my gosh.
That's why we're friends.
I'm like, if I could go back to school and get a doctorate in neuroscience, I would totally do it. I don't think it's happening right now, which is why I interview people who have doctorates in neuroscience. But one of the things that I'm loving is learning that when your brain feels safe in a pattern, how then you start to you actually can start moving forward on goals because your brain is saying, okay, we're actually committed to this. This is something that we're actually doing, and your identity starts to change, right? Yeah. So then now I'm noticing, once I just make that as my priority, then I'm noticing it's really easy for me throughout the day to make good choices in what I'm eating and how much I'm eating and paying attention to my body and just feeling really good about myself and feeling like, you know what, even if I didn't lose an inch, right? And I'm not weighing myself and measuring myself all the time, but I feel stronger. I notice my muscles are a little bit sore, so that as I'm walking, I feel like, oh, my core is stronger. Like I can feel that. And I start thinking, oh, I should maybe walk a little bit more briskly, or, it kind of starts carrying into all these other areas. And so anyway, and Eric's actually signing on to do some Pilates with me. So I think that's pretty fun. And my 12-year-old did it with me this morning. He and I were on the carpet by the dog and I was doing mine, and he thinks it's fun to do time-lapse videos and watching me do Pilates. I know you put some of those. He likes to make them of me and show me how I look. It's pretty funny. But it's super fun. And so I just feel like it was one thing that we did that just started moving us into this really virtuous cycle, moving upward. And I feel like it's something I could totally do. So I set my goal right now is a 90-day streak for all 4 of these things that I'm working on each morning. I'm like, I think I could do these for 90 days. And when I keep looking at my app and seeing a 6-day streak, I'm thinking, it feels like it's been 90 days already. Like when you're starting something new, it often feels like, man, haven't I been doing this longer than just 6 days? But I thought, no, if I could do it for 6 days, I could do it for 90 days and probably onward from then. But it's just a fun thing to give yourself a challenge that doesn't feel hard, that works with your life, but that gives you these benefits and helps you to feel this excitement about your life and like, I'm moving into that identity that I really want to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And it helps you to rebuild that confidence in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because so many of us, myself included, have been on the journey over the years of starting and stopping exercise routines or signing up for a diet, and we think this is going to be the thing, and then it, we don't stick to it, and then we start again on Monday with something else or whatever. Like that's the norm for so many of us. And so when we have spent years doing that, going back to identity, but we lose confidence in our ability to follow through. Every time we start something that's, overwhelming for us or asking too much of ourselves in a current season of life that we really can't follow through with, and we don't follow through, we lose confidence in our ability to stick to anything. So then the next time we go to start something, we're already the battle's usually already lost. Like we already subconsciously are telling ourselves, oh, I know I've done this 100 times and I'm not going to actually be able to do this either. That's happening on a subconscious level, even if we don't realize it.
Yeah.
And that goes back to that idea of identity, of just kind of, whether you realize it or not, you may have this identity or this story you've been telling yourself of, I'm not the kind of person who can do that. I just struggle this workouts, or I just don't like exercise, or I'm just not that kind of person. We see it as someone else, right? As someone in a magazine or our sister-in-law or someone else in our life that we're like, they're that kind of person, but I'm not that kind of person, even if it's on a subconscious level. And so exactly what you're saying, when the approach that you're taking of having these small wins that you can build up to and build on, it does start to rewire the story we're telling ourselves and help us change that identity into the type of person who does exercise and does enjoy it, or does, spend time on their health and well-being in the morning. And the ripple effect on that is just huge.
And I love how you're so positive in your videos, and you're talking about posture, and you're talking about breathing, and you're talking about taking time for yourself. And I start to think, oh, yes, look at me doing this. I am doing all these amazing things. And so you feel so good. And one of the other things that I love about you, which is why I wanted to be able to record with you, is that you're not out there telling people Pilates is the only way to exercise and no one should do anything else ever. Because, I guarantee you, with all the thousands and thousands of people who are going to listen to this podcast, we're going to have some marathoners, we're going to have some weightlifters, we're going to have people who prefer other things. And so that's great. And so I think we're here today to say, let's celebrate having a routine that you're excited about that helps you to be healthy. But at the same time, I want you to talk a little bit more about Pilates. Like, why is it effective? I've been doing some research on it, going into like Wikipedia and trying to learn a little bit more about, was it Joseph Pilates who started it? Is that his name? Mm-hmm. I've been kind of doing some research and figuring it out because there's something special about Pilates.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So what is it that's special about it?
Yes. And when I hear you saying that, the marathoners and the cyclists or the, anyone, someone doing manual labor, anyone, I'm like, everyone needs Pilates. It doesn't mean it's the only way, but because of how it works the body and because of how it facilitates and helps you in whatever endeavor you are pursuing, whether that is, marathon running or cycling or just trying to get through your day without back pain or wanting to get up and down off the floor to play with kids or whatever it might be, whether you sit at a desk. So Pilates is, it was developed by someone named Joseph Pilates. And unlike yoga, I think a lot of people get kind of mixed up, think it's the same thing. So the easiest way that I can describe it is yoga is really deeply rooted in spiritual traditions over the years. Pilates is not. It's not rooted in any spiritual tradition. It is mind-body exercise. And by that, it just means when you're doing a Pilates workout, you are connecting to your body with your mind, and you're thinking about how you're moving, and you're becoming in tune with your breath and in tune with how your body moves and how it feels. And when you do that, it's incredible on so many levels. One, because you start to feel actually what's going on in your body, and therefore with that proper alignment, proper breathing, then you can see really quick results and really profound results in a short amount of time. Because I compare it to like when you go, remember the days of like gym class where you would just go do 100 sit-ups and as fast as you can, and you're just thinking about your form, or you just go to the gym and you kind of do a bunch of little workouts, but you're just powering through.
You're just chatting with a friend maybe while you're doing it, or you're just kind of listening to something. Yeah,
exactly. Or you're going so hard that you're just using any muscles you can to just try to get your, knee to your chest or something. And you're not even thinking about, well, how is the position of your pelvis right now? How's the alignment of your spine? Like, are you, and so what people do is they go do workouts, but they're not actually strengthening the muscles that they think they're strengthening.
Oh, interesting.
And they're not necessarily working the body as a whole. And so you just kind of power through. And so Pilates helps you to work in proper alignment. That's why you hear me cueing you through exercises and paying attention to, okay, are you in neutral spine? Now let's start to engage the muscles around the core and knowing what that feels like, and then moving and doing an exercise so that you're really strengthening the right muscles in the right way, in a functional way that, again, like I said, will take you to not only feel like, wow, I actually have increased muscle tone, like, ooh, what is this new muscle I feel right here? I mean, I remember being like, literally, what is this thing I feel in my waist? I'm like, it's hard. What is it? And it's a new core muscle that I just had never developed before. So you feel it and you notice the change in your body, but it also can translate into just functional, movement throughout the day or other exercise, other activities that you're involved in to really restore that alignment, build strength. And when you're focused on it in the way you are in Pilates class or during a session, you just get it's like maximum efficiency, right? And
Yes.
so just
Okay.
a lot of used to say like you could do hours of sloppy calisthenics or like hours of sloppy exercises, or you could spend, a short concentrated time on your mat, really paying attention to your movement in your body and get better results in a short amount of time. And that's what I've experienced.
That's
and
awesome.
so many others. Yeah.
Is that why I can't carry a conversation while I'm doing Pilates?
Yes. Yeah, it shouldn't. So tell your kids, you need to breathe.
Don't talk to me. Spencer.
That's the thing too. What I love, right? We're all about efficiency, both of us, right? So I think that's why I love Pilates so much. But I'm like, you actually can get similar benefits as well as like meditation when doing Pilates because you're very present, right? When you're really listening to what I'm saying or whoever your teacher is, and you're paying attention to your breath and where your knee is and where your hip is and where you feel that little burn in your muscle. It's like you are so present. You can't be checking your phone. You can't be stressing about, whatever you have to do tomorrow. And so you get those benefits of kind of being present, meditation, clearing your mind, refreshing your soul, your spirit, just by also doing a physical workout.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, because this morning Spencer was trying to tell me a joke or something while I was trying to do Pilates. And I'm like, Spencer, don't talk to me right now. Like, I am trying to, keep this going. But then it was funny too, because I 10 minutes a day, maybe up to 20, 25 minutes. A couple days I've done 20, 25 minutes. And then I was hiking with Eric the other day and I was sore trying to hike up the hill, which normally I'm not usually that sore. And I'm like, Eric, Robin is kicking my can. I'm only doing like 10 to 20 minutes. I'm so sore. I mean, it's pretty amazing what you're able to do without having to shower, without having to go somewhere in your pajamas. I mean, it's awesome. And then I've memorized enough of your, routines that if I don't have my phone near me or something like that, that I can, I have a few that I've memorized that I can just do, which has been awesome. So I just look at my watch, I set my timer, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go for it. And it's been really exciting. Like, I feel like, okay, this is something that, yes, I can still, if I decide I want to do some running or if I decide I'm doing some weightlifting or something like that, that's great. But it doesn't have to be an either or. I think if I can just do this each day, then I can live a really happy, healthy life and feel excited. And I think of you all the time. I'm like, I'm being like Robin today. I'm taking some time. I grew up near the beach, so I'm always jealous of the beach as you're recording all of your videos, but it's awesome. Okay. Yeah. So how do you recommend people get started? If someone's thinking, okay, Robin, you've convinced me. This sounds like it could work with my busy life. Someone's a teacher or a parent or a lawyer or whatever their profession. If someone's thinking, I could actually do 10 minutes a day, where do you recommend someone starts?
Yes. Well, this is where I love to come in and say, here are some easy ways to get started. Because again, it's all about removing those obstacles, making it easy for you so you can actually try something. And like I said earlier, maybe just experiment, right? Just try. What happens if you do 10 minutes a day? What happens if you do 15 minutes a day? You may be thinking, this is not going to work for me, but what do you have to lose in just trying it and seeing how you feel? So I'm always running free online Pilates challenges. Awesome. I shouldn't say not always, but a few times a year I do. To give people a chance to just try this and see if it's a good fit for them and if it makes them feel better and helps jumpstart their journey. So you can go over to my website. We're actually running a Pilates strength and stress relief challenge.
Love it.
It's a 5-day challenge. And it's 15 minutes a day, and it's exactly kind of what we're talking about. It's 15 minutes of Pilates, and then just to add on, because we could have gone maybe we should do a whole nother episode on this at some point, but the stress
we do.
So many of us are holding in our body and carrying around, even if we don't realize it. And so at the end of each workout in this free challenge, I provide one simple stress relieving strategy to just incorporate into your day. So it's not like, meditate for an hour or go to the spa and get a massage, although wouldn't that be nice?
Would that be good?
But it's something just simple to just incorporate into your day so that you can build strength and also be taking care of your mental and emotional well-being in just that 15 minutes a day.
And we'll put a link to that on our show notes page, and we'll send it out so that anyone from Learn, Do, Become who's listening, you'll get a link directly to that. And you can come participate in what Robin's doing because it's amazing. And I love how all of these things that I'm learning about stress relief, they all really work together. And I think that's how you know that something is going to work for you, is if it works in harmony with what's already going on in your life or what you want to have going on in your life. Wow. And I love that focus on the stress relief because a lot of times adding exercise into your life is like adding a major stress into your life. And that's not what's happening here. And then just for at the Learn, Do, Become community where we teach people how to build this STEP Command Central. It's called Steps to Everyday Productivity, building this Command Central. One of the keys is knowing what's a project, what's a routine, what goes on your calendar, just how to basically look at all of the things that you're doing. So what I found works so well is just making Pilates into one of my daily routines, something that I'm going to do in, when my Pilates is finished, then I will move forward on the things that are already natural for routines. But putting that in there, this isn't something that's on my checklist. It's not on my calendar because if something happens in the morning and I can't make it, I don't want to be shifting my calendar around. But it's just a simple part of my routine. And establishing Pilates as a routine, that was a project where I signed up for your sisterhood. I went into your portal. I started putting favorites on the routines that I like. I love the little favorites part. So the ones that I really love, that I enjoy doing, I put there on my favorites and that fit in the time, the time frame that I have available. I downloaded your app. So now I have it so easy right there on my phone. So I got that all set up and now I feel totally set up for success. And then just having the Streaks app for me has been so awesome because I get a little burst of dopamine every time I check it off.
Yes.
So that's been so fun. And I'm feeling so good, like so happy. And I feel like it's just going to keep getting better and better. I will ask one question. When people say, well, how long does it take to see results with Pilates? For me, so I've done my 6 days consistently. I already feel stronger. I already feel my core stronger. What else should I look forward to?
Yes, it's such a good question. And I think actually one of the first emails that I send to members when they sign up is answering this question, because that's what everyone wants to know. And so I love that you are already noticing changes because I always say within the first week, you will start to feel better. So again, just as I try to shift people away from thinking of what is the ideal workout routine that everyone in the world should be doing and bring it more personal. We also talk a lot in our community about starting to notice other benefits and other changes that we experience and results that are not just what's the number on the scale or what size pants am I wearing.
Right.
Because we get super hyper focused on those things and we often miss out on all of the other benefits that we're experiencing. And we want to pause and notice those benefits because that's motivating. Yeah. That makes you, and that's what really matters at the end of the day. Yeah. But beyond that, it's also motivating and it's that celebrating and noticing what's working and that keeps you moving forward. That makes you want to do another workout or keep taking care of yourself. So I would say in the first week, start to just you'll notice that you feel better, whether that's less stress, more energy,
more confidence,
less back pain, proud of just the way you're taking care of yourself. Some people notice they're sleeping better right away. And then I would say within the first few weeks, you can definitely expect to see improvements in your strength. And that's why I always have people revisit workouts.
Oh, yeah. Like the teaser.
And go back and say, okay, I remember doing this one when I first started and it felt like I was barely going to make it through the whole routine. Yeah. And then here I am a few weeks later, I'm doing it and I can actually see my progress. I can do the moves better. I feel stronger. I feel I have more control over my muscles in my body.
Ooh, I like that.
And the reason that that's possible is because Pilates is so intentional, right? You're actually learning to control your body and use that strength that you have. And so you can really notice it within the first few weeks. And then beyond that, I'd say within the first month or two, you can notice more kind of physical things that most people would be traditionally looking for.
Yeah.
But notice those when they come, but I always say to people, don't set that as the only definition of whether or not something is working or worthwhile or good for your health.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and I've been excited noticing, like, as I'm learning a lot of different things about my body and how I eat, how I exercise, how I take care of myself. Again, it's this virtuous cycle. Like, I noticed that I was doing a lot more emotional eating, not bad foods, but I was just eating at the end of the day because I was stressed. I really wasn't hungry. And I realized, like, growing up, I was always taught about calories. I was taught about the food pyramid, which now, well, I won't even get into that. Okay. We won't even talk about that. Okay. But I was taught those types of things, but no one ever taught me to pay attention to when I was full or to eat slowly. No one ever taught me that. And so it didn't matter if I was hungry or full. It was like, if you hit your calories, you're done. And so, it's been really interesting for me to learn, hey, alongside taking care of my body, I'm also paying attention to how I'm feeling. So and I was even reading about how important it is just not even be distracted while you're eating. Like, just like in Pilates, when you're focusing on the muscles and you're thinking about your posture and you're thinking about how everything's, set up and your hips aren't moving and how you're trying to keep things stable. Same thing. If while I'm eating, I'm thinking about chewing my food, I'm thinking about the taste of my food, I'm paying attention to that sacred spot before you're full or right when you're full. Things like that have been so huge for me. Like, I'm just noticing I'm changing a lot of my habits. And growing up where I was surrounded by a lot of eating disorders, I mean, I feel like, wow, now I'm, in my 40s and I'm finally like learning how to look at food and exercise in a really healthy way.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of teachers over the past 5-6 years who have really gotten me in a good direction, but I feel like emotionally I'm in such a good place right now. And it means the world to be able to have mentors like you who are modeling how to take care of yourself. How you're fueling your body, you're taking care, you're making time, you're not trying to push yourself too much, you're honoring the fact you need rest. I mean, I need more Robin in my life. I love it. You're doing a great job.
I'm so happy for you, though. I'm so happy that you're pursuing the idea of learning in a different way and, kind of breaking free of some of those rules or those beliefs that you had growing up, because so many of us had those, even if it wasn't, for me, I wasn't even directly influenced by like my parents or anything like that. It was just, we're just surrounded by that messaging.
Yeah.
We have been since we were young people. And so
Especially
I'm
as
just
women,
really happy.
I think. Men still get it too, but I think it's tricky.
Definitely a lot more geared towards women, for sure. Yes. So I'm just so happy for you that you are pursuing this route and making these changes. And I mean, it's inspiring to me too.
Well, thank you so much. Any kind of final words of encouragement for the community before we sign off?
Oh, I would just echo so much of what you shared here about what you're doing in your life, and just encourage anyone who's listening right now to know that you don't have to go from 0 to 100. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in order to experience benefits of exercise, taking care of yourself, prioritizing, your wellness, your health and well-being, both mentally and physically. It doesn't have to be as complicated and overwhelming as we've often been led to believe. And honestly, sometimes, the diet and fitness industry sets us up like, oh, you have to have these shakes and you have to do it in this window and you have to take these pills and you have to, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. So I would just hope that everyone listening is encouraged by what you're doing right now in your life, April. And it's so similar to what I'm doing and so many others are, is just taking those small steps to start to change your habits and patterns and build it into your life in a way that is just life-giving and motivating and energizing.
Yay! Thank you, Robin. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today for this conversation. I hope that you loved it as much as I did. I have continued my streaks of doing Pilates every morning, and I love that it's seriously 10 to 15 minutes each day. I prioritize it. I've been doing it before I check email. And although it feels like, it's a change and might feel a little hard not to just jump into my phone in the morning, I feel like I'm giving myself that boundary and that time and that white space. My body's feeling stronger. I'm feeling happier. I'm feeling more energetic. And really, I feel like what she's teaching inside of her programs is life-changing. She's got an amazing community online as well of people in the Facebook group. You can get to know them. So go check out The Balanced Life. And I know it's like the sisterhood. Eric is actually in there with me. So Eric and I, big fans of Robin, and he's done some Pilates with me. She kicks our cans when we do it together. But you can do it whether you're male or female. Super fun. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. Again, we have our show notes page at learndobecome.com/episode 81. And if you are brand new to Learn, Do, Become, and you're thinking, how do I create this Step Command Central everyone's talking about? And how do I get totally organized so that my routines plus my projects and papers and emails and tasks are all totally organized? Come to learndobecome.com/step for our free introductory training to our STEP program. That is the main thing that we do at Learn, Do, Become right now. And we would love to have you there. It is such a party, honestly. And it's like dream come true to get to run this community and to be part of this with you. Okay, have a great day. We'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.